So I have an idea on how to save mankind potentially from a super volcano. And I know that might be a little bit weird, but it's like I have an idea on how to, like, if you look at the blast radius with a super volcano and stuff like that, you got the kill zone right here, you have the primary ash, and you have the secondary ash. And I have an idea that I've been actually trying to pitch Trump where it's like basically, I'm sure with a super volcano, the ash cloud would be so big that it would actually blanket the earth in ash. And I have an idea on how to actually prevent that. Potentially. Not all of it, of course. There's still be a lot of ash on the ground when yellowstone blows. But I have an idea on how to basically potentially save a lot of people's lives from when it blows. And this is what I've been like emailing Trump, if you're wondering. And I emailed him this yesterday. In the world today, Russia has their bunkers, China has their bunkers, and America has none of that, and that we know of. I think I figured out a way to save at least 1/3 of America and a way to capture 20 to 25% of the ash when Yellowstone blows. It revolves around building 20,000-foot pillars with flame-proof nets or curtains built in between them in the following states: Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. And I'll show you why I said those states. Because, like, when it blows, the ash is going to blow this way. And we have, like, pillars in Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. It could literally cut off the secondary ash part. And basically, so we basically, that, like, oops. My laptop touchscreen. It would basically cut off 20,000 feet of ash, and the ash would just fall to the ground in these states. And that could be very beneficial to people. Because, like, the people in Missouri who would be getting hit by the secondary ash wouldn't be getting hit by so much secondary ash anymore. Because it would be getting stopped by the pillars. I know. And if you're wondering, like, I'll go back to what I was saying. Minnesota, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. Why those states? Those states are outside the kill zone on immediate eruption. The pillars will be built 1,000, 2,000 feet apart from each other. That way we can have space to fly over them or underneath them. That basically means, like, we're going to be building them in a way where, like, we could fly over them with a plane or fly under them with a plane. And people, it wouldn't really be an eyesore to people. Because my original idea, whenever I was looking, for some reason, I was watching late one night. I was watching a video on the Yellowstone supervolcano, and like I'm looking at it, like, okay, so I just asked the question, how would we stop this? And, like, my first idea was like we could put a shield over it, a big old blanket, like a big old shield. But I was like, that wouldn't work. And then I was like, we could build pillars with a shield on it, so where the ash gets blown out, it just hits the shield and gets sucked in the atmosphere, sucked in space and stuff like that. But I kind of figured that idea wouldn't work either. And then I was like, these pillars, you build pillars 20,000 feet high, and build them in certain states out to the kill zone where it's like the ash is blowing that way and it stops them. I was like, that could work. And basically, the cool thing about these pillars is the curtains will drop at the push of a button that only the president has. We can lift and change them by using Black Hawk helicopters. That way in case like a pillar falls, only one falls and the rest of the structure is still standing. And that way, if we actually ever push the button too soon, we can have a way to lift up the curtains and it won't be an eyesore for anyone living in the following states until Yellowstone blows up. And the really cool thing about these pillars too is, like, there will be rollers inside the pillars that are attached to a strong pole that stretches from one side to another. And when the president presses the button, the curtain drops and slides down a smooth path to the bottom. And once it gets closer to the bottom of the gap guiding the fall, gets narrower and narrower, so that a smooth stopping point, like 100 to 300 feet above the ground. That way, like, people aren't, like, if people need to drive under the curtains, if there's like a road that the pillar goes over, it's not like blocking, like the curtains just doesn't fall on the road and people gotta run through the freaking curtain, and then it's like a wild mess, because when the Yellowstone blows, there are gonna be people freaking out all over the globe. They'll be like, ah! And then, America would actually wish they had something in place, like a curtain, or something like a net, something like a safety measure to basically give hope to people. And then a really big reason why we have that too is that way when the ash cloud starts blowing from the west to east, that there will be pillars high enough in the air ready to stop 20 to 25% of the ash cloud that's flying over the United States. Now I know that won't stop all the ash, unfortunately. However, I do have an idea on how to stop all the ash. It would just be left in America, and I'd really have to speak to NASA about it because we have to build like space shuttles. We have to build like space shuttles like in certain states, and like space shuttles like literally connected to like this big old net, all synchronized together and have no interference. Where it's like when it blows, it's like 150 to 200 rocket ships just blast off in space and like go like 100,000 feet up in the air, and literally like just capture the ash and just drop it in America, so the rest of the world doesn't get affected by it. And I'm pretty sure these pillars could save up a couple million lives in total, a lot of lives in total. And I'm really trying to get this message to Trump someday. So it's like, what I'm gonna do is you're gonna watch me starting from day to day. I'm gonna literally show my journey of pitching NASA, pitching Trump every single day, pitching freaking Scorpions. He's Scorpion, if you don't know who he is. He's one of the smartest geniuses in the world and stuff like that. And I'm gonna show you how to pitch people on the internet and how to like become free on the internet while pitching the most powerful people on the planet Earth. And we'll see where this Yellowstone idea goes. Cause like I want to see it. I want to see these pillars up. When I saw it, I was like, these could work. These could work. The pillars could work in my mind. And so we'll see how things go. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed episode 1 on how to save mankind from Yellowstone. Love ya. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.